Hi, welcome to Wildlife Wednesdays. I'm Lori Hneska Brown, and this is my dog York. And we're going to talk a little bit about wildlife capture that we sometimes do as wildlife biologists. And it's really fun to do it this way because we actually have a live animal that we can practice with. So York today is going to represent a wolf. So he's the same color as some wolves, but he's certainly a lot different. But he's actually the same size as some wolves. So I have some tools with me that we can use to demonstrate if we had a wolf that we needed to capture and we wanted to take some measurements, maybe we wanted to radio collar him so we could follow him with telemetry, how we might do that. So the first thing we do for wolves typically is we're going to hit them with a dart with chemicals in it. So we might do that out of a helicopter. Okay, and once we have a wolf that is darted with a tranquilizer, he gets kind of sleepy. He gets a little bit sleepy, but they're not always totally sleepy. So we have to be really careful because wolves, just like York, have really big teeth and they have pretty sharp claws and they're really, really strong. So we want to make sure that we're safe as biologists, and we also want to make sure that the animal is safe. So we do a number of different things to make sure that all of those things happen. The first thing we're going to do with a wolf that's kind of sleepy is we're going to make sure we get those teeth taken care of, okay? So we have this thing called a muzzle. Actually, we can't do the muzzle first. We have to actually put on first something to cover up his eyes, okay? A lot of animals get a lot calmer and they're not so nervous if they can't see what's going on. So we cover up those eyes, and then we're also going to put on this muzzle. And we're not going to do it for real for this wolf because he's probably not going to bite me. But we get eyes covered up, we get the mouth taken care of, and then the other thing we're gonna do is we're gonna hobble up his feet, and we do this particularly with big game animals because we don't want them to jump up and run away. So remember that when we have a wild animal and it's anesthetized, it's sometimes not completely asleep, and you have to also remember that they're super duper stressed. So if their animal is super duper stressed, then sometimes they really fight hard against the drugs or against the people that are trying to study them. So in this way, we have our wolf. He's hobbled, he can't jump up and run away, he can't see us, and he can't bite us. So from here, we can do a whole bunch of things. Number one, we can give him an ear tag, which is just kind of like an earring. So for all animals that Wildlife and Parks catches, we put in some sort of ear tag so that if a member of the public stumbles across this wolf, or if it's an elk, if they happen to shoot it, they know because it has some sort of tag that it's been captured by us. Okay, so we're not going to do this for real, but we would use this little ear stamp and we would give York an earring, basically, which has a number that tells us a lot about the animal. My assistant here is going to show me some other ear tags. These would be ear tags that we might use for bigger animals, like an elk or a deer. And then again, we can look at that number and we can tell where that animal came from and when it was captured. The other thing we're going to do with our wolf is something that we do with most animals, and this is a pretty big collar for a wolf, but this is going to go on as a radio collar. And so the radio collar allows us to track this animal wherever it moves. So we do this with deer and with elk and wolves and bears and lots of other animals. We can actually do it with things as small as bats right now because we have little tiny radio tags that we can put on those animals that tells us where they are and where they live. We do a lot of measuring and different things with our animals that we have down. So for this particular animal here, this wolf, we probably want to see how long he is. So when we measure an animal like this, we're going to go all the way from the nose all the way back here to the bottom of the tail. And we know that York, as our black lab mix here, is about right in between a coyote and a wolf. So his size is right there in the middle. We are going to measure that width of, or that length of him. We might take a chest measurement when we go around his chest here, and we do that with a lot of big game animals, and that gives us again a reference on size. And then for most animals, if we can, we also take a weight. So that's our demonstration of how we might handle a wolf, and I hope you've enjoyed it.